Hello everyone, it's been a few days since the new season started and I played around 20-ish games of ranked now. I wanted to share some general thoughts on the season, on Yone, and then we'll break down a game together. If I had to summarize the new season in one sentence, basically turning into Wild Rift. It feels like the pace of the game has increased and not as laid back as if we were playing a mobile game. I mean, some people probably like this while others would not. Secondly, are we actually playing ranked, or is it secretly some for fun game mode disguised as Summoner Rift? Because I just don't quite understand the relevance of adding quests, and I don't think the balancing is all that great, not to mention the idea itself just seems sort of random. Maybe I am just too traditional, and they concluded that this somehow is the way to get new players and old players to come back. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe. Oddly enough, the number one thing I felt playing in the new season is that Yone seems a bit weaker. I'm not sure if it has to do with the new crit system and the reverting of his crit damage. Yone has the damage of a ADC, so building the right items should make him a tank killer. In the previous season, I generally did bork into Shiobo and an armor pen / IE or whatever, depending on the enemy comp, and finishing with items that provided both offense and defense like GA and Death Dance. But in some of these recent games, I've literally built almost full damage and still tickle the enemy tanks, which is kind of bizarre to me, while ADCs are one-shotting you with the 7th lot. The point is, everything seems like a pretty big mess. I don't really have a recommendation for which lane is better for Yone. Yone can pretty much only do berserkers, so the boots doesn't seem all that significant. Yes, you can like Phantom Dancer, IE, and then get some kind of defensive boots, but I don't know, I don't really like that style. And then top Yone has terrible stat growth, so going top 3 levels isn't really doing all that much. 7th item would probably be the best, but how many people are playing Yone ADC, and honestly it just sounds like prison to me. Anyways, let's look at a pretty 1v9 game on Yone versus Illaoi. I'm bringing Second Wind and Shield Bash because Illaoi can do some poke, and Shield Bash simply because I like the bonus damage, but sometimes right now I opt for Overgrowth since minions spawn more often. Ignite not because I think TP is bad now, but I was just testing stuff out. Generally I still recommend TP over Ignite unless you are against something that takes Ignite for sure, like Riven. The game starts with Illaoi walking into bush on us level 1. I thought for sure I would win this, but honestly it was too close considering I only missed 1 Q and got hit by 1 tentacle. But I guess I didn't even drink potion, so oh well, my bad. She brought TP and Ignite, so we just base right after pushing the wave. There are a couple things against Illaoi that you should try to do. Try to keep the wave in the middle, block her W with your W, and try your best to get a lead before 6, or else you would be in grave danger if any of her E hits you. Here I was just trying to clear out the tentacles, and then I get poked. I tried to block her E with the minion, but sadly I walked into it. I walked up a bit too much and got hit. Perhaps it's a blessing in disguise. Getting hit by E early isn't all that significant as long as she is not hitting the real you, and Yone is able to easily kill an half HP opponent with lethal temple and some daggers. I don't go for the plate because I don't think I needed the extra gold, and I got a recurve bow with 2 more daggers. The 4th dagger doesn't actually build into anything, but I think it's good for punishing and getting kills that the enemy don't exactly expect. Like, they often underestimate what's lethal or not with this build. As you can see, blocking her W with our W is almost always a good trade. After she gets 6, it becomes a lot harder, but it's still important for us to punish her whenever it's on CD. We are lucky she didn't just click R, or else we would have ulted away and based. Oops. Here I should have just immediately followed with R, but I hesitated since I wasn't sure if I hit it, and she just walked right out. Since she has no more mana, she will most likely base, so we hard shove the wave. This is a downside of the 4 daggers. We might have to sell one or build boots first, since it takes slots, but it's not too expensive, so it's all good. Note here, I make a mistake. It just didn't seem realistic to contest, so I should have just shoved away first thing instead of trying to rotate. Mid is low as well, so it would end up being a 2v3 when it was already not possible to win the 2v2, meaning that I simply wasted my time. Going back to lane, normally Illaoi missing her E would be a kill angle for us, but since Heck was coming, we had to give up the opportunity. However, she tried to trade further with us, and Hecarim had left already, so we just trade back. We use R to engage / gap close, and it's not a big deal if we hit it or not, since we just need to cover the distance. And we get her, but Hecarim chases us and we die. I wanted to flash here, but I was a bit slow to react since Malphite had ulted and I mistakenly thought I was safe. Hecarim being immune to CC completely went over my mind. Illaoi shows up bot, so we use this opportunity to take first turret. Then after shoving in some waves, we base to help our team contest for Drake. However, it didn't seem that necessary, but I noticed a opportunity, so I continue walking down, thinking that I can TP back to lane to prevent Illaoi from sieging if she chooses to do so. After killing Zyra, I try to find Jhin to force him to cancel ult. However, Sylas dies for this, but it's still possible to chase Illaoi with E coming back up. I knew she wanted to E me after I cast Q, but I slightly mistimed it and got hit. After chasing her further though, it's important that we go for Jhin here, since he's not expecting it and we can one-shot him. If we actually decided to go for Illaoi here, we 100% die, since she wouldn't just be hitting our Phantom or whatever thing that she pulls it out is called. After recalling, I catch the huge wave top. And I notice we are contesting for Herald. With a EQ over the wall, we catch them, readjust our position to ult Hecarim since Malphite is keeping them CC'd, and we ult as soon as Hecarim ults, allowing us to hit all 3 of them. Jhin doesn't really respect us, and ends up getting caught out as well. My build hasn't really changed still. It's just gonna be Bork, Shiobo into Armor Pen or Infinity Edge, but in this case we will be choosing Mortal Reminder since they have Illaoi after all. and there are chances that Aesol and Zyra could be building into Zhonya's later on. And with Hecarim building Death Dance, yada yada yada. But the point is, I think Mortal Reminder is just the best choice here. After, I decide to walk through mid since I see Jhin. This way we can look for opportunities but still go back top relatively fast. Since Illaoi isn't pushing lane further, I decide to invade and try to find Hecarim. Since Dragon is coming up in 10 seconds, I transition mid. However, I get hit by a E, which is something Illaoi likes to do since Yone's Q3 lands at a predictable spot, allowing her to guarantee her E. But Aesol's dumb and just WQ into me, and we double kill with our gold advantage. I joined my team back in mid after resetting, and they took Drake. I planned to build GA next since I had a big bounty. Unfortunately, I was a bit late and we had died already. We managed to find a few picks back, but eventually things just traded off. Note, this outplay wasn't outplay, if you can even call it that. It wasn't anything special or insane, since I was just really fed. But note that we save our Q3 for Hecarim, and we E to get away from Aesol. Of course, at the end though, we are just too fed, so we win. A fight breaks out top and we managed to kill them, but couldn't end just yet. Last item, I was planning to build Hullbreaker and not Death Dance since they had Zyra and Aesol. I thought the extra HP would be nice, but going Stridebreaker and selling Berserkers is also a option. I don't do this build every game, but this game we didn't have needs like going QSS or Serpent's Fang. Ultimately, we secure Soul and Bearing, then we siege S5 and end the game. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye, people.